So early today. I woke up really much earlier than I usually do, and I am showered and ready to go. And I figured I have a little extra time before I wanted to get started on homework and whatnot. Um, so I figured I'd come and hang out with you guys for a little bit and, just kind of talk and check in while I finish my coffee. Because I don't actually usually drink coffee. I usually have like energy drinks and stuff, like, Red Bull or, Bang or whatever. And I have some of those in the house too, but I was like, you know what, I'm kind of feeling coffee. So I got, that pre-made Starbucks, like the one you put like the cold brew. And, I got some creamer and I got some, the sugar stuff packets. And, I'm like, I mixed myself up some coffee and I forgot that, maybe it's because I haven't had coffee in a while, but I know I'm going to have a headache later, but it hits different. So, I'm kind of, I have a lot of caffeine. So I'm like, I'm going to come talk. Hello, Rody Gal. Hello, Nicole. Good morning. Good morning. It's sunny here. I think it's a little chilly out. At least it was when I took the dogs out. It's actually almost too sweet. I only use one packet of the Truvia or whatever, and it's still really, really sweet. Hi, Mom of Two Men. And it's still super sweet. But I wanted to come on here and just kind of chit chat with people. I know that I'm usually not on this early, so I can imagine that there are people from maybe across the pond, as I like to call our European friends, who maybe don't get to catch me live all that often, or if at all, because usually I, go on when it's really late where they are. And I know that a lot of people stay up really late. I'm in bed really early, and if I didn't I have really bad insomnia. So if I didn't take medicine to help me fall asleep, then I probably would be up all night too. But for me, sleep is like the one thing that I need to get to keep my sanity. If I don't get a good night's sleep, it throws my entire day off. And I think my idea of a good night's sleep is different than other people's, because my yeah, I think it just is. Because I'll take, if I'm up, once at night, for like a couple hours, like I'll usually wake up at maybe 4, and I'm up until maybe 5 or 6, and then I go back to sleep for a few hours. But I take that as a win. But today I was up I woke up around 6, and at first I was going to go back to sleep, but I'm like, I don't actually feel. I pickle lover. I don't actually feel tired, so I'm going to get up and just get going and hopefully get an earlier start on the day, so maybe I can be a little bit more productive. So here we are. And as long as I'm off of here by, hi Jersey girl, as long as, yeah, it is a gorgeous day on the East Coast. I wish it was a little bit warmer, but it looks like it's going to be warming up. But at least where I am, it looks like it's going to be raining. So although where I am, if it says it's raining, it's probably going to rain for like a little bit. It's either going to rain for a little bit of the day and then just be cloudy and wet, or it's going to rain all day long. And it's, you can never predict New England weather. I think there's like a phrase about it, and that's probably for a reason. Hi, Cece. You woke up just, yeah. Oh no. Yeah, the 2:30. Yeah, if I wake up at like 2:30, pickle lover, and I can't fall back to sleep, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel it the next day. And I've always had insomnia since I was a little kid, and that stems from, some stuff I went through as a kid that, kind of made stuff, I don't want to go into my past traumas. That's, now is not the time for that, but I had a hard time sleeping from a very young age. And it's, I think everybody in their adult life is kind of has issues sleeping. But usually I'll go back to sleep because I luckily don't have to be up particularly early. So, which is nice, because the job I used to, actually the past couple jobs I've had were really, really early jobs. Like the first one, I had to be at work at 6:30, and then my last one, when I was, because I used to open the store, and I had to be there. I mean, it's not that early. We opened at 9, so I had to be there by 8:30. So, oh, pickle lover, yeah, yeah. No, I feel ya. Hey, Froggy. I feel like a lot of people on here have insomnia, because you'll see that there are people that are on, like some creators that are on in like the middle of the night, and they still have a crowd. I realize, I have to remind myself. Hey, Brittany. I have to remind myself that a lot of that is probably, either people on the West Coast, because I always forget there's like a 3-hour time difference. So, it might be late where I am, but for them it's not too bad. And, across the pond, they're ahead of us. And if you're over in like Australia, then you're like way ahead of us. So I always forget that there's other time zones. Yeah, Nicole, I'm not really, it depends. I can be a morning person. It really depends. It really depends on what I have going on and, you know, how much caffeine I've had. Oh, pickle lover. Well, I hope you get a good night's sleep tonight. I always like to think that, if you don't get a good night's sleep one night, you get it the next, but that's not always the case. So it sucks. It sucks. And I probably I'm glad that I'm having coffee this early because coffee is one of those things where it will affect me. I usually find that I sleep much less soundly if I've had coffee. Cece, I've seen a sleep therapist before because my insomnia was so bad. And I try to do everything that, they said. So in my room, I don't use my bed for any I don't, use my bed for any reasons but to go to sleep for the most part. Sometimes I'll be on my computer in my bed or doing homework, and that probably doesn't help. But she recommended that I, first of all, yeah, turn off all devices 30 minutes at least before bed, no screens going, make sure the room is nice and cool. So I usually have the window open or the fan going or both. And yeah, everything that I can possibly do, I try to do. But a lot of the time I feel like it doesn't work. And sometimes part of my routine is kind of winding down at night, which is usually either listening to YouTube or putting on something to watch. And I try to watch like, lightweight shows and then kind of, not have anything that's gonna rile me up too much. So like last night I put on The Simpsons, which I only half watched. Yeah. Oh, Mom of Two Men. Oh, yeah. I like the body pillows. Those are comforting to me. But I can't, for if it was, for a loss like that, I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry. That's that sucks. That sucks. That's hard to that must be really hard. I can't even imagine that. There's yeah, I personally do like those. I sleep with stuffed animals, guys. I'll admit that. I'm 33 years old. I have a stuffed Eeyore, and I have a stuffed. It's like a dog. I swear to you, everybody in the 80s had this brown dog stuffed animal. I think it was. I don't even remember the brand, but everybody had it in a various size, and I had like a medium sized one, and I named it Sasha, and Sasha is very well loved. I have a picture of me next to it as an infant, and it's bigger than I am. And now it's like completely matted and gross, but I still sleep with it, and I have to have both of them. I know it's really embarrassing to put a tape. Yeah, I put on audiobooks at night, and I try to put on ones that I know by heart or have a voice that's soothing to me, because if I put on one that's too interesting, I'm going to stay up and listen to it. I had what book did I have on the other day? I woke up in the middle of the night and I put it on. It's The Phantom Prince. It's about the woman who dated Ted Bundy for a very long time, who she wrote it. And I was listening to that because that's a pretty good audiobook production, but I couldn't stop listening to it. So I was like, this probably isn't the best idea. I need to put on something a little bit more boring. But yeah, the back of the sofa, Mom of Two Men. I've also found that no, I don't think that's stupid at all because I totally get where you're coming from. I used to sleep on the couch for not for the same reason as you, but because it was comforting to me in some ways. So, if I had, I could sleep on the couch. My couch, though, I keep telling myself that when the dogs are older and the dogs stop destroying things, then I'll replace the furniture that they've destroyed. But, even just today, Molly has already destroyed one of her beds again. So I'll have to sew that up later. But she recently, well, actually, I think it was my boy dog who did it. I think Traveler did it, chewed a hole in the couch and, was de-stuffing it. So they've already ruined a recliner. So now I guess they've moved on to the couch. So I don't find as much, joy in being on the couch anymore. I'm going to replace the furniture at some point. Oh, music that sounds like rain. Yeah, some people that works really well for. That for me personally, I didn't like that so much. I don't know why, but I know a lot of people really enjoy stuff like that. Um, yeah, the calming music. The other thing that I try to do is like breathing exercises, and one of them is called like square breathing. That's where you breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold your breath for 5 seconds, then exhale for 5 seconds, then wait 5 seconds. That works pretty well. If I'm really desperate and I have like the wherewithal to, focus on it. Or where the first one that I learned was, you breathe in, hold it for 1 second, breathe out, then do 2 seconds, then do 3 seconds, and then go and see how long you can hold your breath really. And by the time you get up to a certain amount, usually I had fallen asleep. That's actually one of the ones they taught me in the wilderness therapy program I went to when I was 14, and I've never forgotten it. Because at first I had a really hard time falling asleep in the middle of the woods, not on a bed with no pillow. So it was very uncomfortable. So that was actually something one of the staff told me there, and I've never forgotten it. So I'll use that sometimes as well. Yeah, your cat, you're right, refuses to buy new furniture until they're gone. My cats also have done a number on a lot of things, but nothing like my dogs. And I realize I get why it is. Hey, current Mrs. B. I guess I get why they're so frustrated. It's because it's been so cold and icy and snowy, so they haven't been able to. I don't have a fenced in yard, so they haven't been able to get out and do the things that they're used to doing, and it's frustrating for them. And unfortunately, the dogs that I have, especially Molly, I mean, they're working breeds, so them not having a job to do is really difficult. Hey, Moody Mary, I am okay. I am okay. Let's see, breathing boxes, huh? I've never heard of that. That's interesting. I've never heard of a company doing that. Well, yeah, a lot of people are working from home now, which I also think leads people to the crinkle sounds. The ASMR. I tried that once. I saw that. I saw it came up. I was on YouTube once, and it was like, I try not to fall asleep, guaranteed. And I was listening to it, and then I was like, no, this isn't going to put me to sleep. And I know a lot of people that really like that as well. So that's a good coping skill for trying to fall asleep. It didn't work for me. They're snoring soothes you, Nicole. That doesn't surprise me. Well, my animals there are things that are soothing about that too. When I always found that they say that cats purring is at a frequency that helps heal the body. I don't know if that's accurate scientifically or just like a myth, but I'm gonna tell myself that it's true because my cat likes to do that, and I do find that very soothing to listen to him purr. Hi, True Crime Uncorked. Good morning. Good morning. And I usually don't mind, but I get really overheated sleeping. So when I find that a lot of the time, if my cat is in there, I get overheated, or the dog definitely doesn't sleep with me. The dogs go in their crates, but they want to go in their crates. I try to give Molly at least the opportunity to sleep with me. And she would prefer to go in her crate. Traveler definitely prefers to go in his crate. So I kind of gave up. I was kind of offended, but if they want to be in their crates, then there they go. Favorite radio station. Yeah, right. I tried music too at one point, and I was like, this is just riling me up. This isn't working. I need to turn this off. I think maybe that was this morning too. And then sometimes I'll put on YouTube. There are some creators that have voices that are really soothing. I can't think of any at the moment because I don't think I've heard any that recently. There are some that are just there are some that put me to sleep. I'm gonna say that in the nicest way possible. It's nothing against them, but your bigger guys go in their crates. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Well, my whole concern was when mine were puppies. I have two dogs. I have Molly, who do I have pictures? I should have pictures. I have a video of my dogs. Maybe I'll play that for you guys. Why do I have this video? I don't know. If you guys want to see my pets, if there are people who have not seen my pets yet, where is it? Okay. Wait. Don't laugh at one of the clips. There's one clip where Molly is really smart. So she's an American Leopard Hound, and my other dog is like a super mutt. But she's really smart, so I was trying to teach her how to dance. So that's where the I think it's the first clip is from. So don't laugh. I'm not like dancing with my dog. It's I was trying to teach her something. You'll see that she's very attentive in there, and we didn't get that one. That didn't work. But here you go. I'll show you. I'll show you my puppos. Here you go. Those are my puppos. So that's Molly and Traveler. Your cats, they won't touch it? Really? Fight over the box? Yeah, my cats prefer boxes too. But they do like their cat trees. They do. My feral guy, or he's not really feral anymore, but the one who lives in the basement and goes outside most of the time, who I've he's been in the neighborhood for years, but he and I have built a relationship, but he doesn't like cat trees or boxes. He just kind of he has a chair that he likes to sleep on. But actually, I have another video if you guys want to see with my kitties too. Now I'm going to show you guys that too. Here you go. Sorry. Here are all my kitties. I have Chicory, Paolo, Domino are my kitties. Those are my kitties. So there you go. They are very cute. You put your cats good on the cat tree. Yeah, that's what I got the cat tree for too. True Crime Uncorked was I was figuring that maybe it would give them some to get away from the kitties. I mean the dogs when Molly was a puppy, but they had no interest. So they're not afraid of Molly. Molly doesn't bother them. Molly leaves them alone, which is unusual considering she's a hunting dog, and she does that to my other cat though, Domino. Although I think it's just because he's behind the door, so she barks at her. But Traveler's the one who they can't stand. So whenever Chicory tries to get into my room and go under the bed, and then I can't get him out, and Chicory likes to pee on my clothes, so I don't like him in my bedroom. Or if I have folded laundry that I'm putting away, especially, I don't want him to be on there because he'll pee on clean laundry. And I cannot stand it. And I know I don't know why he's done it his entire life. And I'll just call Traveler, be like, Traveler, and Traveler, come on over. I'm going to hear his toes tapping outside the door right now. But he'll come over and Chicory will go away. And it's but yeah, they're not afraid of Molly. Molly plays a little rough with them. But for the most part, she just leaves them alone. You have a German Shepherd. Yeah. Molly doesn't really like men either. Molly barks at men, especially if they're men wearing jackets or hats. She has an issue with that. She doesn't like that at all. And Traveler just doesn't like anybody. He's really friendly off leash, but on leash, he's a monster. You would never know that he was friendly. He's terrible. And he's not very bright either, so trying to train him has been pointless. So he is who he is. He's a sweetheart, though. But Molly's very intelligent, which is a blessing and a curse. But she's also really high strung. She's a hunting dog, so for her not to be able to hunt is difficult. And I live in the city, so I don't have a huge backyard. I'll walk her up to my parents' house to let her run around in their yard, and we'll go on adventures, and I'll take her to local walking paths and go for walks and stuff. Traveler's good off leash. I'll bring Traveler to different hiking places off leash. She has pretty good recall, but Molly doesn't. If she gets a scent, she'll take off after it, and good luck finding her. She'll eventually find what she's looking for and then just bark like she's supposed to. But I don't want to risk that. because it's that one time that she doesn't do that, I'll never see her again and she's my baby. So I couldn't do that. Oh, the kitties you bottle fed. That's so cute. Chicory was a teeny tiny when I got him. And Paolo, I had to bottle feed because he was like super sick and he wouldn't eat. So your chihuahua didn't like men except your husband. Yeah, that's probably the case, unfortunately. It also, a lot of us think that it has to do with maybe somebody abused them, but also for a lot of, because I talked to Molly, I've had to see a behaviorist about. And, the behaviorist said that we assume that it's because of abuse, but, sometimes it's just because they were never exposed to a man and new things are upsetting to dogs sometimes. So it's not always the case. Just because I felt bad, I'm like, who hurt Molly so badly? Oh, she's blind, so she doesn't bark. Well, is she old? Is she like getting up there in age? That's always sad when I don't want to think about losing my animals, but my dogs are good. Take her in public, she reacts. Really? That's interesting that she reacts to others' health issues as well. Huh. You had wolves in your backyard? Wow. We don't have wolves. We do have coy wolves. We do definitely have coy wolves because they're definitely not coyotes. They are way too big to be coyotes. Way too big to be coyotes. I have never seen a coyote as big as some of the ones I've seen around here lately, and they have no fear of humans whatsoever. So I was walking my dog once, and at first I thought it was a stray because I've seen coyotes, but like I said, this was like twice the size of a normal coyote. And I was walking towards it and I was like, where's its owner? And I was like, it was dark out. So I was like, maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm just not seeing their owner. And I keep looking and then it crosses the street and it's coming right at me and Traveler. And thank God Traveler didn't react because he's reactive on a leash. So if he sees another dog, he will like put those heckles on his back up and he will growl and lunge. And he's not tough. He's not tough. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to instigate with this coyote and this is going to be a problem. But thankfully he didn't. We went down another street, but I had never seen a coyote that big before. And I know that my parents have gotten some coyotes on their cameras that have been quite large. So, well, that's good that he's protective of you. I mean, it makes you feel like they care a little bit. And Molly does that too. There was a guy that was he clearly had some issues. I don't think he was really in his right mind, who got incredibly close to me and was trying to touch my back. And Molly did not like that. So Molly lunged at him and then he got mad that she lunged at him. I'm like, but you're the one touching my back. Like, what? Get away from me. But yeah, you're a female rescue dog. Yeah, men in baseball hats, Jersey girl. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Brittany, I am doing okay today. I'm up quite early for me, so I am on here just kind of checking in and chatting and finishing up my coffee before I, go out for my walk and then do homework. And then who knows what else. Sky's the limit. Oh, good morning, X amount of words. How are you today? Oh, you have coyotes too? Yeah, my neighbor's chickens. Then, one of my neighbors, not neighbors, but I'd say maybe like 4 blocks from me, actually has chickens in their yard. And it's, if you knew where I lived, it would make sense to you as to why it's so funny, because I live in the city. So the fact that their side yard has chickens roaming around in it is something that you don't see here at all. Yeah, I'm not sleepy yet. It'll hit me. It'll hit me later though. I have caffeine. I had coffee. I rarely drink coffee. I'm usually more of an energy drink person, so having coffee is not something I'm used to, and the caffeine hits differently. I'll tell you that. It just isn't a bad thing. I get headaches. So I'll probably have a headache later from this, but I needed something to get going. I've been in the mood for coffee. And yeah, I need to get a lot of stuff done today. I really need to get these papers done. My finals are due. My final projects are due on Sunday by midnight, and I'm still behind on some work, so I'm going to be working on that. And then I'm not sure how long I have off until my next course is, because I'm in like an accelerated program. So I do go to school over the summer as well. But I do think I have like a 2-month break at some point, which is when I will be really focusing in on my YouTube channel and really putting out that content that I have been planning for everybody that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. And no, it's not just me talking at you guys. A lot of it is going to be interactive. A lot of it's going to be me sharing like media and videos and stuff like that, and having some panels and special guests. And it's going to be a good time. I haven't had like, I can't focus on that right now. Yeah, you get headaches too and fast heart rate. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I almost guarantee you some of the energy drinks do that to me too. And I'm not really sure what the difference is. Like I'll drink Red Bull or Bang, and that doesn't bother me. But I mean, I have a case of them right now, but the C4s, and those give me a headache. But they were on sale, and I was like, I can't pass that up. When do I finish my degree? Ideally next summer, or next spring rather. So it's a 2-year program, but you go to like there's 3 courses a year, if that makes sense. So there's fall, winter, summer, and I probably put at least 30 hours a week into my schoolwork. So it's definitely a lot of work, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it. So it'll open some doors for me to do some work that I can do, that hopefully pays what I would need it to pay to kind of get myself on my feet and somewhere better. So that is my goal. And I feel like, marketing will give me an opportunity. It's not that I don't have real world experience with that. I've spent the past 10 years doing marketing, business, merchandising, retail, stuff like that. So this isn't new for me, but I have no formal education in it. My college degree was in criminal justice. So, formal degree wise, this is all new to me, but I think that a little bit. And what am I missing? I know I missed somebody. Oh, why can't I read? Yeah, Red Bull does have a lot of caffeine, but not as much as some of these other ones, like the Bang energy drinks. I liked Bang when they first came out, but now they're just one of those like influencer brands at this point, for lack of a better word. All they do is pay, younger kids to promote them. And, products like that, I become very skeptical of their formulas, and they become, in my mind, sellouts. But people want to make money. So do you blame them? I can't blame people for wanting to make money. So who did I miss? I can't see. Oh, hi, Dave. Yeah, so hopefully it'll give me like the ability to be creative, because I am very creative, and I would love to do something for a living where I can use that creativity and, not hate my job. And I don't know if I've ever really hated my job per se. Well, that's not true. I've hated a lot of the jobs I've had, but when I was looking at with a master's degree in it, and I was looking at the amount of money that you can make doing that, to do something that I enjoy, that was pretty incredible to me. It makes me wonder why I haven't done it all along, but I know why. I always wanted to go. I wanted to go to school for business, but I couldn't. Not that I couldn't, but I wanted to kind of make my family happy at that point in time. And, criminal justice is kind of the family business. So I was like, here, I'm going to do this. And I'm interested in that too. So I don't regret it at all. I was definitely really interested in what I learned there as well. I like looking at criminology, psychology, stuff like that. But I certainly haven't done anything with that degree since the few years after I went to, graduated from college, because it was too traumatic for me. And it definitely triggered things in me that sent me down a really bad path for a while. I agree. I hope it's a good investment. I think it will be. I think it'll be a good opportunity for me, because, I do have the spine injury that I have. So for me, like, being on my feet all day isn't going to be realistic for the rest of my life. And I would love to be able to do something that I can, first of all, do from home if possible. But I do like to go into work. Like, for me, getting out of the house is going to work. And that always became my social life. My work was always my identity. When I, it always was. And it was my social life for the most part too. Like, those were the people I surrounded myself with, and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to find something that'll help me get on my feet, get somewhere better to where I want to be. And not that I'm not happy where I am. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed. I have nothing to complain about. I have a roof over my head. I have enough food to eat. I have a family that, loves and supports me. I really can't complain. But, I always I'd always want, I want something better. I mean, I do have things about my life, living situations and whatever that I'd prefer to not be in, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I'm still young. So, the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. And that's why I always say, I thought maybe I was too old to do this again. But the truth is that, they really do make a lot of good programs for adults to go back to school. And it's never too late, guys. It's never too late to change up what you're doing for a living, if you're miserable. And I stand by that. Working from home is too easy. Nicole, that's what I'm trying to say, though, is that, I need structure for a lot of things. I can handle not having structure. Like, I'll figure it out. Like with my degree right now, I mean, there's not really a lot of structure. So yeah, are you a social worker? Yeah, social work is also the family business for me. That would be an understatement. Um, very much so family business. But yeah, that's what I was going to school for. I started a master's degree in social work, and I realized that I couldn't do that long term. It wasn't for me. You do have to be and I was working with kids as well. So because I figured, with the life experience that I have, with everything that I had been through, the programs I'd been through, the struggles I'd had, I had a few years where I was doing really well, and I was like, I can take this knowledge, I can take my experiences, and I can give back. And the problem is that it triggered a lot of trauma in me that I didn't realize it would, and I didn't know how to handle that, and I didn't handle it the best way, and it it really messed with my head. What stream program I'm using? I use StreamYard. I use StreamYard. That was just what I saw everybody doing, so I was like, I'm gonna try StreamYard. So, and I'm happy with it. I have no issues with it. I don't know if it becomes a problem once you bring people up on here, but my internet isn't even good in this room, and I don't have any issues streaming. So I don't know what people are talking about that. Yeah, that's right. It really has accommodated learners that are not straight out of high school. It really has. And I think that's really great that they're doing that. I'm sorry, my dogs are being really rude. That probably means the mailman's here. Or someone walked by. And let's see. Yeah. Right, and it's not right, and I'm not the kind of person who I always enjoy learning. Learning is something that I love to do. It doesn't matter if it's like for a degree. I mean, it's nice if it's for like, some sort of certificate. Like I'm certified in pet nutrition from UC Davis. I mean, I have a whole bunch of things that I've done. And I was thinking of just doing a certificate in social media. But then I was like, why do a certificate when I can just do a whole degree? But I'm always learning. I'm on those sites where you can take like classes on how to do things, and you can, I'm always listening to educational stuff, and I love documentaries. It doesn't matter what it is. I have so many topics that I'm so interested in, and I love to learn new things. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a big CC. That's definitely a big industry to get into right now. I mean, it's not a secret that drugs and alcohol are definitely on the rise. There's a lot of people that struggle with that, and there's definitely a need for counselors that are well trained and are caring and willing to go out and handle those things, because there is a better life, guys. I'm living proof of it. I'm living proof of it. There's hope for people, and there's yeah, not all is lost. I feel like a lot of the time society gives up on people, and I think that that's a really bad move. You never know what somebody has to offer once they get back on their feet and they get their life together. It's just a lot of the time people, they don't make it easy to get your life back together. But you have to be ready to do the work too, though. It's not like things are just going to get handed to you and things are going to get better. No. You have to put the time in too. It's not like a magic fix. It's not like you go to rehab and it's all better. It often doesn't work like that if the person isn't ready. So, but I'm living proof of it. My mom tells me all the time, and I know this sounds silly. I'm 33 talking about this, but that I'm a success story. So if you look at everything that I've been through, if you look at my life that I've had, and then you look at my accomplishments, it's pretty outstanding. And I need to tell myself that every single day. The fact that where I am today is just I'm proud of myself, and end of story. I'm also a very curious person. X amount of words. Cece, a couple people have said I remind them of their daughter, and I'm touched that people say that. I always like to think, well, not like to think, but I've always felt, I haven't felt like I belong in a lot of places. Not a lot of that's my adoption issues, but yeah, Cece, yeah, and it's sad. There's a lot of that happening as well. So, and I have the utmost respect. The only advice that I can give to folks who get into that field is don't lose yourself in it, because you need to be at your best emotionally, mentally, to help others, and it takes a toll. Let me tell you. Like when I was working with kids, some of their stories were, uh, you can even make this stuff up. Some of the stuff these kids have been through at a young age of 13, 14, what they've seen and witnessed in their homes, unbelievable. So, and you can't help but take that to heart, especially if you're a caring person, and you see how much it's affected the kids. It's rough. It's rough. It is rough. I made a thing with myself, Nicole, where I was like, I'm not going to wear leggings anymore. Every day I'm going to put on, it was my New Year's resolution 2 years ago, especially in the summertime, because in the summertime, I would love nothing more than to just wear gym clothes all the time, because they're just the easiest for me. And now that they make them with pockets, it's even better. I bought a couple pairs of shorts, and, like gym shorts, they have pockets. It's glorious. And I was like, I'm going to put on jeans every single day. That's going to be my new resolution, because if I'm just sitting here wearing the yoga pants all the time, I'm not going to realize that my jeans don't fit anymore. Not that it's really helped the situation, but it is what it is. I'm healthy. So, and that's what matters. That's what matters, is I'm healthy, and I have to look at it that way. And I'm not unhappy with it. I'm not unhappy with how I look. So, but I totally get it. I totally get it. But I need the structure. So getting out of the house and having a job where I have to be somewhere at a certain time, and I have to meet certain things, like time management is not my forte. Not my forte. It is draining. Yeah. It is hard. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Especially, I'm sure some of those women, their stories were pretty compelling as well. I can totally imagine that. And I had to get out of that. I had to. And it was the best decision I ever made. And I almost felt like I was giving up. I felt like I was a failure. I felt really awful about it, but it took me somewhere really dark. So, I was like, I'm going to have to find something else to do. And I did. And I did retail for a while, like management. And then I got hurt. And then I was, out of work for a while, because I had to literally relearn how to live life. And it was probably a blessing and a curse, because it took getting hurt for me to really get the help that I needed, oddly enough. But it gave me a new perspective on life in general, because I was just really grateful to not have everything taken away from me. So it made me realize that I wanted to change. I wanted to live my life. I didn't want to live the way I had been living. And I took the opportunity to do that. And I took advantage of the fact that I was not working anymore. I took advantage of the fact that I, had access to services and help. And I utilized that, and I got myself together, and hasn't been smooth sailing from there, but it's certainly been, I'm on the right path, and that's all that matters, and that's all that I need to tell myself. Will I have struggles along the way? Of course I will. We all do. But as long as I'm doing everything in my power to be my best self every single day, then I'm doing everything I can. Wearing dress pants again? Yeah, the pajamas and yoga pants. I know. Oh, pajama pants. I would live in pajama pants and yoga pants if I could. Honest to God, I would. I have really fun pajama pants. I have I'm a kid at heart. I really am. I don't know if it's because I feel like I missed out on a childhood. I don't know if it's because I don't know what it is, or maybe it's not just me. Maybe it's a whole generation or everybody. But I have Hello Kitty pajama pants. I had Batman ones for a while. I have nowadays I don't have any other weird ones, actually. I think those are the two branded ones that I have left. I think I might have Cookie Monster ones somewhere, but I don't think they really fit very well anymore. But Good morning, Air Force vet. Yeah, I wanted to come in the morning because I see faces that I don't usually see in here, which is awesome. I love seeing new faces and chatting with new people in here. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. So I figured if I stopped in the morning, that maybe people who don't usually get to catch me live might be able to catch me live, and that's why I am here this morning. Plus, I've had way too much caffeine. But I told myself as long as I'm off of here by, 11, if not earlier, then I will be good to go. And then I'm already dressed, I'm showered, I'm ready to get on with my day. I'm probably going to go for my walk. And then because I go for a walk every day if I can get outside, because sunlight is the best natural antidepressant. And I stand by that. I stand by the fact that staying inside is just gonna. And your bunny onesie, that's awesome though. I have a giraffe onesie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've been very tempted to order a bee onesie for my like big face reveal or a bee costume. I think that that would be fun for me. I certainly think that that would be fun because I'll go on camera eventually. I mean, me not being on camera has nothing to do with me being embarrassed about how I look or anything. It's more so that well, maybe a little bit. I am insecure. I Of course I am. I think a lot of us are self-conscious anyway. And yes, I have fuzzy Eeyore pants too. I forgot about those. Yes, I am Eeyore. So, I have an Eeyore onesie too. I love Eeyore. See, I love Eeyore. I am. My mom always says that I am Eeyore, and I was like, I take offense to that. But for me, it's that I don't want to look at myself talking. So it's hard enough for me to come on here and chat with people as it is. It definitely took some getting used to. I've gotten better at it. Once I feel comfortable, I don't shut up, as people say. They're like, "How do you talk for so long?" I don't know. I like to talk. I like to talk. I do, and I don't always want to talk at people though. I'd love to talk with people, which is why I'm gonna have some panels. Because I have some really your Wednesday Adams. No shame in that. No shame in that. I'm here for that. You have Eeyore tattoos? I should have an Eeyore tattoo. I sleep with a stuffed Eeyore. I don't know if you caught my the beginning of my life, but I was talking about I sleep with stuffed animals. So I have a stuffed Eeyore I sleep with, and I've had to replace it twice in my lifetime. And I still sleep with it. I'm 33 years old and I sleep with two stuffed animals at night. I used to have more stuffed animals, but I started feeling like people are gonna think I'm crazy for saying this. So here we go. I started to feel like I was hurting their feelings if I didn't have them on the bed with me. So this isn't like recent. I'm talking about like when I was a little bit, in my early 20s or whatever. But I was like, you know what, I have to just choose because I can't always. Yeah, I always had issues with that. I don't know about what that stems from, but I was like, they're going to feel left out. So now I just have those two that I sleep with. And then the other ones are kind of, yeah. The other one though is that, and it gets me every time. I was at a couple stores and there were stuffed animals up at the front register that says, "Take me home." And there's something about that that grips my heart and just twists it. And I'm like, I have to give it a home. I don't know if that's adoption issues. I don't know what that is either. But anything that says "take me home," I do not care if it is an inanimate object. Like, it'll tear at my heartstrings. Oh, Build-A-Bear! I love Build-A-Bear. The store knows you by name. That's awesome. That's awesome. I haven't gone to Build-A-Bear in forever, and I want to. I've read The Tao of Pooh. Why did I forget about that? I think I owned that at one point. I don't know where that went. I have to have owned that. I know I did. I wish I knew where that was. Yeah, we have a Build-A-Bear near here as well, and there have been times that I've seen like different Build-A-Bears. Like I'm a Harry Potter nerd, so I really wanted to do the Harry Potter Build-A-Bear. You guys are gonna laugh really hard at this too. There were some of the Pokemon ones that I was eyeing. It was like I really could do with a stuffed Jigglypuff because that is also my spirit animal, if that's like a thing. So yeah, I've definitely eyed that, but that's really awesome that they know you by name. That's really cute. I always got really uncomfortable at Build-A-Bear because they make you like, jump around and, I want them to be like, if you're an adult that they don't make you do that. Like, I want to, like, is there an option like for introverts like myself who don't want to be interacted with at Build-A-Bear, where we can just be left to build a bear on our own without the staff coming in and um, doing what they do. Like, I think that's great for children. I think children really enjoy that, but I do not like being put on the spot with attention. I don't like it when people ask me if I need help finding things. I know that why they do that. That's a loss prevention thing as somebody who's worked in loss prevention. So I get it. I get why they do it. But I feel like the majority of people really don't want to be bothered when they're going into a store with that. They need a Build-A-Bear for adults. They do. They do. Like, where, the staff doesn't make you jump around and make a wish and, whisper, loving comments to a stuffed bear in front of everybody, because that's just weird. Yeah. And oh, Dave, I would never. I have a lot of stuffed animals from ex-boyfriends that, are accumulating in a closet. Not accumulating. That's not a good word. That's not a good thing. I haven't gotten any in a while. I've always said, though, no more stuffed animals. Like, I don't want stuffed animals. Do not buy me stuffed animals. I have no room for stuffed animals. But I still have a lot of my, like, toys and stuff. Like, I have my Legos that I've built that I use as home decor. I frame puzzles that I've done, and I, put those on my wall. I have a lot of the Harry Potter book covers as puzzles. So, I mean, I'm convinced that, like, my home decor is always going to be like that of a child. But I've moved on from just having posters on my wall to they're framed now, and a lot of them are vintage and rare and collector's items. So there's that as well. But in our Build-A-Bear, that's kind of cute. Oh, there you go. The last time I did Build-A-Bear was with probably, oh God, had to have been 2010 with my ex-fiance. I was moving to another state to take a job, and we weren't going to see each other for a while until either he moved up there or I, was able to transfer to the branch of where I was working. That was, where I lived, which I ended up doing within like a month. But we made Build-A-Bears where, we had our voices in it. And I have completely forgotten that I had it. And there was one time where I was in the closet and all I heard was like, "I love you," or like something like that. I'm like, who, what is that? And where is that coming from? And I was like, oh, it's the bear. Oh, that has to go. Like the battery was still working. And I didn't put it in the trash. I donated it because there's no need to put that in the trash. I mean, there's some kid that's, would love to hear a bear that says, "I love you." They don't care what voice it is. So I always, and then, then you have people like my mother who donated my entire Beanie Baby collection to a low-income doctor's office. So the kids would have something to play with in the waiting room, which, I'm glad it went to a good cause. I am. But that was like my entire Beanie Baby collection. And I was like, I did not give you permission. She's like, well, I asked you to come pick them up 1,000 times. I told you I had a bag of stuffed animals for you. And I was like, well, Mom, I don't. First of all, you didn't specify it was my Beanie Babies. I just assumed it was like, stupid stuffed animals. And I would have assumed that you would have known better, considering I used to, play school with my Beanie Babies. I used to have like these not cardboard boxes, but they were like building bricks, but they were in like different colors. And I used to set them up as desks. And I used to put the Beanie Babies each at a desk. And then I used to teach them. So I don't know if you guys remember those. I know I'm younger than a lot of people that watch me, but they were these things, I think they were called Brain Quest, and they were like they're like flashcards almost, and they were on like a plastic ring, and you could flip through them, and there were different questions. So I would go through those with the stuffed animals and teach them. And, my parents always got quite a kick out of that, but a lot of them were well loved, but some of them were in good condition. I had some rare ones. Yeah, it sounds like your mom too. Come and get it or it's gone. That's been my mom's mantra for a really long time now. And most of the time I just say, get rid of it, but I probably should like at least go look at what it is. A lot of stuff from my past I don't want to see. There was stuff from my old apartment that I was storing there that just throw it all in the trash, put it in a dumpster and burn it at this point. But I don't need that in my life anymore. But I probably should. There are some things that I would like to have. Definitely. Oh, you weren't allowed to have stuffed toys? I'm sad for you there. Bye, Nicole. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I get that that's allergy. Allergy, that probably would have a lot of dust. But at the same time, I mean, I feel like kids love stuffed animals. At least I did. I loved my toys. But I was never like into Barbie or anything like that. I was more into like the toys that all the boys had. Always. And I don't even really know why. Like everybody wanted Polly Pocket, but I wanted Mighty Max, which was like the boys' equivalent of Polly Pocket. Um, yeah, I have a lot of fun anecdotes from when I was a kid. Like I saved up all my money. It was $15 I needed to save up to get a Tamagotchi. And I saved up my allowance. I did extra things to get that. And then we went to KB Toys and they were sold out of Tamagotchis. And then we went to Toys R Us and they were sold out of Tamagotchis. And I think we went to Kmart and they were sold out of Tamagotchis. So we went back to KB Toys and all they had left was it Gigapets or Digipets or Gigapets, I think. And I was, so horrified. And actually, in hindsight, the Digit or the Gigapets were actually like a much better technology and they had way more options and they were way cooler. But I didn't see it that way at the time because everybody wanted Tamagotchis. And I remember I got the Gigapet and it had a logo on the front of it. So I spent like an entire day just like rubbing my finger across it, trying to get rid of it. And I finally did, sort of. So when I would show it to my friends at school, I'd have like my finger over it and I'm like, this is the new improved Tamagotchi. But nobody believed me. They were all like, you're a liar. And I'm like, that's not, you don't have the cool thing. But hey, Incognito. So I think it's kind of funny that, things like Tamagotchis are coming back into style and things like that. I've got a kick out of that. I wasn't allowed to have a lot of toys. My parents were very anti-gun, anti all of that. I don't necessarily share the same viewpoints as my parents do necessarily in a lot of ways, but so we weren't allowed to have like Nerf guns or even like, super soakers or anything like that. So, all the neighborhood kids in the summer would have super soakers and I would have these squirt dolphins and sharks and like whales that my mom would find at like the dollar store where I could use those. And I was always so embarrassed. My mom was very embarrassing. I could go on and on about my mother, but she was very, very, very particular with that stuff. So I wasn't allowed to have any video game consoles that were on the television. Like for my birthday, I could rent a Nintendo 64 from Blockbuster and get like, non-violent games. But I had a Game Boy and that was about it. I was allowed to have a Game Boy, and like I said the other day, I had to exercise for an hour and I had to read for an hour before I could have 1 hour of screen time. But I like to read. Reading was always like my favorite thing to do. I had some like behavior problems as a kid, so I my parents were going with like what was the best practice back then, and unfortunately, I had undiagnosed ADHD at the time, and I was really impulsive. I acted out a lot. I had a rough childhood, and I spent a lot of time being punished in my room because I would act out at school. And that made it so I spent most of my time alone in my room reading. And, that would, when everyone else was out there learning, how to be friends and learning how to make friends, I didn't have any friends because I was in my room and not allowed to do anything because I had like put soap in somebody's hair at school or had, been hiding under my desk and refusing to come out or yelling at somebody or, so on and so forth. I think one of the funniest things though is, I was allowed to watch Power Rangers for a while and then I was not allowed to because one day we were playing Power Rangers. I think it was in first grade. We were playing Power Rangers and I was always young for my class because I'm a November birthday. So I was always the youngest in my class because I, started school early. And we were playing Power Rangers and I accidentally hit somebody. Like I wasn't trying to hit anybody. I think like, my hand actually went that extra inch and hit somebody. So I got in trouble for that. And I was terrified because I was raised to think like, if you hit somebody, that's not okay. And that's against the rules. And I was home crying and my dad, I was like, oh my God, the police are coming for me. I'm going to get arrested. And I was inconsolable. My dad ended up having to pretend to call the police and ask them, yes, excuse me, are you looking for a 4-year-old named Emma who hit somebody today? Oh, you're not looking for her? Oh, we can just handle that ourselves. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, officer. And I will never forget that because I thought I was going to go to jail. I don't know. I don't know why I'm telling you that. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Yeah, it's not the same as a super soaker. It's not. It's not. Yeah, your grown kids' toys. Yeah, the grandchildren. Right, right, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get that, Cece. I get that. My sister was sickly, as a child. Like she had really bad asthma, so she was like on a nebulizer all the time and the hospital with it. So my mom was always like that with her, but I can't imagine an oxygen tent. I don't actually even know what that is, but that sounds really serious. So, I can imagine your mom was protective over you because, obviously parents want to keep their kids safe, but when my parents, I mean, to be fair, I never felt like I fit in and I never felt very wanted, but the truth is there was never a more wanted child than me. So, my parents adopted me. And they knew that I was likely going to have a lot of issues, and they did it anyways. So I don't know if people are religious or not, but regardless of your religious beliefs, my mom says it's because God told her that I needed her. So there we are with that. And she's always told me that. And when push comes to shove, when I look back on it, I couldn't have asked for a better mom, and I'm glad that we're working on our relationship to rebuild that and maybe repair, because I wasn't easy to deal with, and I have to remember that. Even though as a child, yes, true crime uncorked, I'm probably gonna get off here in like 15 minutes too. I gotta get stuff done, but good luck getting whatever you need to get done, and thanks for stopping by. I always like to see you in here. But oh, pneumonia at 6 months. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. I had pneumonia a few times when I was a kid, and I was mad because the medicine was the Augmentin, and I wanted the amoxicillin because it was the it tastes like the bubble gum, and I like that, but the Augmentin was disgusting. I think it was supposed to be orange flavored, but it was like chalk, and I was like so disappointed that I'd have to take that. But I had pneumonia twice, 2 or 3 times, in my childhood. Like I'm sorry, my dogs are being rude again. I live on a really busy intersection, so there's always somebody, and like the high school kids walk by here. I actually know my biological parents, Cece. And here's an interesting story. So, after 30 plus years, back in 2018, my biological parents actually got married. So, I thought that was pretty interesting. It'd been a while, but I know them. Yeah, I met my dad when I was 19, I believe, and my biological mom has always been in my life, in one way or another. My mom there was an incident where she didn't show up to a visit with me, and it really set me off into a really bad place when I was a kid, which I don't quite remember, but obviously my mom remembers it and how it affected me. So my mom at that point decided to give her like less access to me, but as an adult, obviously it's not her choice. And I do talk to them. I probably should talk to them more because they're very supportive of me, very much so. And I should probably text them more, and I probably should text them as soon as I get off of here, because they've just been, and I've gone to visit. I went to their wedding, and it was kind of nice. But a lot of people didn't know who I was, but I'm my dad's only daughter, and I'm the last of 5 for my mom, but I'm the only one with the dad that I have. So it was nice, and I mean, I'm glad that they're together now, and they seem happy, and that's what matters. And they're doing really well. Like my mom also is living proof that people can get their life together. My mom has really gotten her life together. I mean, she was, I was born addicted. I had to detox when I was an infant. I was born very early. I was 4 pounds. I was very sick. I was an emergency C-section, and I think I was like supposed to be born in January, but or even February. I can't recall. I think it was January, but I was, but she's gotten her life together, and I know what she does for a living now. She helps. She works in social service office where she for the state in Texas where she's kind of the person that helps you figure out your food stamp eligibility and stuff like that. So I think that it has been good for her to give back. I know she wants to give back. I know she feels very guilty about a lot of the things that have happened in her life. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that she was able to get her life together. I'm not really sure where she stands in terms of like sobriety. I know that my dad still struggles here and there with things, but you know probably much better than it was. And I don't know the status of that now. I just I'm just speaking of like a couple years, like a while ago when I first met him was really hard for him. Not that that's an excuse, but he's a really nice guy. He's a good guy. And my mom, I mean, I'm not really sure, but my impression is that she's not using. But I don't communicate with her that often, so I really don't know. But they have gotten their lives together, and I think that's really, really great. Like both of them work really hard. And they have got a house, and it's nice to see. So really, oh, I can imagine if you found out. That seems to affect people though a lot. Finding out that a parent isn't really. That's why I was always really glad that my parents were really open with me about it. Like I have an open adoption. I don't know how I would have felt if I had found out at a later time. I think it's like a double-edged sword to though. It's like pick your poison. Like my sister, for example, she's also adopted, and she's never met or spoken to her birth mom. I don't think she wants to. But at the same time, like, her adoption issues are very different than mine, but there's still like intense feelings that have affected us. Her not knowing versus my knowing. So, I can imagine that would affect somebody really deeply. I've actually known a few people that have had their parents raise their child as their child, if that makes sense. So they know their mother as their sister. And I don't think that's, I think that can go horribly wrong later on in life. In fact, I've seen it go horribly wrong in life. Imagine finding that out. But, to each their own. If people feel that's the best way to handle things, then it's not my business. But I have definitely seen how that has affected somebody that I know, finding out that, who they grew up thinking was their sister was their mother. Definitely not easy to digest. So, yeah, some people don't want anything to do right. For my sister, I think it's because she always had a good relationship with my adoptive parents. I don't think she ever like desired a life other than what she had, because I mean, my adoptive parents. I mean, I came from a place of privilege. I was provided for. I mean, my parents, have money, but you wouldn't know that, if that makes sense. They're not materialistic, and we also were not raised to be that way either. So we never really even did like holiday gifts. We would sponsor a group home, or donate to a charity, or volunteer at like a soup kitchen or something. That was more my parents' style with things. We didn't really do gifts, which, like, when I was an adult and I was like, with my first boyfriend doing Christmas, I had no idea what was expected of me. And let me tell you, that was a culture shock for me. But it was really different. It was really different. And I always felt like I didn't belong, but my sister never really, had a bad experience with them. And I did come from a place of privilege. My sister has always had the very best, opportunities and, things available to her. And it was my choice not to take what I was offered. And that was my own, issues. And I've had to live with that, but I am where I am today, and I'm not unhappy with where I am either. But I can't complain. Like, I didn't come from. We had a good life. I just had some issues, and my parents were handling it the best that they could, because they're human beings too. And obviously, when your child is struggling so deeply, that's going to affect you as a parent. but that happened. Yeah, right? See? I saw that. I know somebody that happened to, and it broke them finding that out, because what a lie, like, to find out. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's just some situations where you're like, I'd love you don't know why some people handle things the way that they do, but yeah, yeah. Well, we would get gifts sometimes. I mean, my parents, but they've never been about gifts. Like, we were even in the newspaper for what we do. Every year we would sponsor a group home that had 8 boys, and we would put together bags for each of them with gifts for, because they had nothing. And apparently it was my idea, but I don't recall that being the case. But apparently it was, and yeah, just my parents both, well, not my dad. My mom came from nothing. My mom came from a really, really poor family. My parents are in their 70s, so for context, my grandfather's 102, and he's still alive. My mom's actually going to visit him this weekend, and I have to remember to go take care of her stray cats. Remind me. But so she came from nothing. So for her, like, she's worked her way up entirely. And for her, she's kind of frugal about that because she's had to be. She comes from a really large family. There was not money available. My dad had his trauma in his life as well. He didn't necessarily not come from money, because he did. My dad came from money, but money doesn't buy happiness. Money doesn't mean that there wasn't a lot of trauma in his life. He lost his mom when he was 4. And he had a abusive stepmom, and his dad died when he was, very, very young as well. So, and my dad has really done a lot with his life. My dad is very, very successful, but, that kind of stuff affects you. So my dad also in different ways has had to provide for himself, on his own. And so I think that because they've come from that place, they're different they don't take it for granted. So, we were never raised to, like, I never had, like, the best stuff. And I always hated that when I was a kid, but I'm glad that they did it that way, because it's made me realize what's important. And that's not materialistic things to me. I don't need to have the best of everything. I don't, it's nice to have nice things. So there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things, especially when you work hard for it. If you work hard, you should be able to spend your money on whatever you want to. Nobody should be able to judge you for, what you spend your hard-earned money on. I don't like that people are, like, so judgmental. If people work hard, go ahead, buy yourself something nice, treat yourself. Like, even my mother used to be kind of judgmental that I used to get my nails done every 2 weeks. She's like, you don't have the money to do that. And I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about? Like, if I want to, I don't know, if I want to spend, what was it, like $30 to get my nails done, just something nice for myself, I'm going to do that. I mean, do I have to cut that somewhere else? But I was working, at that time. I was making okay money for myself. Like, I couldn't afford to do that right now. I haven't got my nails done in probably since August, actually. And that's okay, though. I'm not upset about that. Like, I found other things I could do for myself. But, she's always been like that, though. She's like, do you really have the money to spend on doing your hair? And, you could just go to Supercuts and get it cut. No, first of all, I want to support, the guy who does my hair is a friend of mine. And I want to support him in his business that he's opened. So if that means paying a little bit more, because we should be tipping them, like, that's how they make their livelihood, is that they cut hair all day. Like, you want to support them. It's not easy out there. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? My parents are very much like that. Actually, Rody Gal, who might be still listening, met my mom volunteering at a soup kitchen with her family. So Rody Gal does that kind of stuff too. But I was just like, I know your mom. And I'm like, yeah, everybody knows my mom. Yeah. Especially in the smallest state where everybody knows everybody. There's, like, only 1 degree of separation between anybody in Rhode Island, and it sucks. It sucks. That's why I had to move out of here for a while to get my life on track. But when I had to come back, I've just kind of, oh, yeah, okay, you're here. Yeah, Rhody Gal was volunteering at a soup kitchen with her family, and my mom was running that. Your kids are some mean sandwich makers. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things. A lot of people are, I think that's really great that people give back like that. It's easy, especially nowadays, to kind of be really caught up in what's wrong in your life. when, comparatively to others. And I know that's not helpful to hear. I used to hate it when there were people that would say, well, at least that you don't, you're not homeless, or, I used to get so pissed off when people would say that. You're like, you're minimizing what I'm dealing with, and you're not. But the truth is that they're right. I do have a roof over my head and heat and food to eat. And a lot of people can't say the same. My mom always likes to point out that a lot of people who have had the struggles that I've had are not have not been as privileged as I am, and have not gotten their lives together because they have not had what's available. And I get that. So I'm grateful, and I try to give back where I can. And, if that means, giving back by volunteering where I can, or donating money where I can, despite, even if it's a small amount. Like I foster animals, and everything that I can do to kind of put some good back into the world, I try to do, because I've put a lot of negative and bad things into the world, and I feel like I need to make up for it now. So you live in a small town where everyone knows everyone. Yeah, I live in a small state where everyone knows everybody. Like I was like, of course you know my mother. Well, my family's very well known where I am, though. So I mean, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. My dad's well known internationally, so I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. But my mom, that surprised me a little bit. But then I was like, well, if you're volunteering at like a pop-up soup kitchen, that would definitely be my mother's doing. That would definitely be that. But that's what we did. I was raised to, value that kind of stuff. So people can say that, I'm fake with like my morals and what's important to me all they want. But the truth is that that's how I was raised. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Yeah, Rhode Island is the smallest state with the biggest name. Rhode Island gets a lot of bad rap. I mean, the people who live here seem to complain a lot. I'll tell you that. And I get why. I mean, it's not perfect. Things here have gotten not great lately. But I don't have a problem. I like Rhode Island. I always move back here. I've moved around a lot, and I always end up coming back here. So, and it's where my family is. And I know that it's important to my mom for me to be close to her. My sister moved away. My sister went to North Carolina for a while, and now she's back. But that was rough for her. Yeah, your husband has the right idea there. I also believe in good karma. My dad always raised me to say, like, what goes around comes around, is what he'd always say. So if, treat others as you would like to be treated. And I forget that sometimes. I do. So that's not a really good example for me. A lot of the time people like to dish things out until it happens to them, and then they don't want to hear it. But at the same time, I think things on YouTube are a little, I don't know what RTP is. I'm not sure what that is. My sister is in public health and works for a very, very large healthcare conglomerate. So I don't know what that means. Rhodesia. Yeah, well, it is the home of Pauly D. It's okay. Actually, he was in the news the other day. You can call it Rhodesia. That's okay. I'm here for that too. Oh, Research Triangle Park. I don't think so. I'd have to ask her. I'm not familiar with that phrase. She and I don't talk all that often either. And I need to check up on her. She had knee surgery 2 days ago. So yes, Pauly D. Yep. He used to go to my gym. The Gold's gym that I used to go to before it got shut down. He would be in there quite frequently. I remember that. I'd be on the elliptical, and there he was in my gym. And everybody would be like, following him. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, I had no interest in that, but it's true. I used to watch Jersey Shore. I'm not going to lie. That was actually a show that I used to watch, religiously. And I'm horribly embarrassed by that, but there it is. Oh my God. Did you go to Gold's Gym as well? I feel like you and I might have had the same trainer, Rodigo. Which one did you go to? The one, where did you go? Was there one in North Providence? I don't think, was there? I know there was one in Providence. Was there one yes! Oh my God, we went to the same gym. My trainer's name was Lindsay as well. That's okay. See, that's Rhode Island for you guys. I feel like there is one in North Providence, though. Is there? Is there one in North Providence? There's one in Cranston, I think, or is it Warwick? There used to be one that was by the cinemas, but yes. Well, yeah, small world, right? So I was on Pawtucket Ave as well. That I used to. That was the Gold's Gym I used to go to too, and I don't remember. It wouldn't surprise me if she did. I don't. I didn't see her all that often, but a Planet Fitness on Mineral Spring. Okay, okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I was like, where? I always forget that. Like, well, I was just trying to remember because North Providence is like really, really much bigger than I always remember. Hey, Bren, you belong. I belong at the gym too. I do have a treadmill. I have a stationary bike, and I should use them more. I recently got, yeah, yep, Vertigal. I'm pretty sure it was the same person. I actually think that we're friends on Instagram. I believe that we are. I believe that we are still friends on Instagram. Not that, we talk. But yeah, because I had a personal trainer for a while. That was the first time I was trying to get, well, not the first time, but one of the times I was trying to get my life together was I was going to personal training. I got really into fitness. I've gotten into fitness a few times, but now with my back injury, I can't get into fitness. But when I say I was into fitness, guys, I was really into fitness. And I've got pics to prove it. So yeah. I had people come up to me at the gym and they're like, "Oh my God, your arms are amazing." And I was like, I don't even know how to respond to that, but thank you. They're definitely not amazing anymore. Nope. Yeah. Well, see, guys, that's what the small world is. So, and I met Rhody Gal here on YouTube, and she lives not very far from me at all. And everybody lives near each other in Rhode Island, so that's but very close to me. And here we went to the same gym and had the same personal trainer at one point. So there's that too. But yeah, he did used to go into that gym a lot, and I used to see him. And then there was the manager guy who was very, very creepy. I believe his name was Mark. And he always creeped me out. I don't know, for whatever reason, he gave me really weird vibes. I always used to try to stay as far away from him as possible because I always felt like he was judging me. No, I don't remember that guy. There was one guy that was like doing exercises that made me really uncomfortable once. I remember that. I was like, "Oh my God, please stop. Please stop." Yeah. Oh, you remember Mark? Yeah. He used to really creep me out a lot. I don't know why. He'd always be watching me, and I was like, "Please, please look somewhere else. Thank you." Yeah, there was and they had like the little room that was like the women's only room, and I was like, this is really kind of sad. Like it was like this teeny tiny room. They had nice locker rooms though. Here we are talking about gyms and stuff. But yes. Okay. All right. Pull myself together here. But I'm probably gonna get off of here in a few minutes. But an honorary citizen of Providence, really, Moody Mary? That's awesome. That's awesome. See, Rhode Island gets some love sometimes on the internet. There's a couple people that are from Rhode Island that I've met or have had like connections in Rhode Island. But then, if you try to tell somebody Rhode Island over in Europe, you just have to say Boston because they don't know otherwise. At least the people that I've spoken to oh yeah, lots of them, Moody Mary, lots of them. I was friends with many of them. I had one of my friends, my best friends growing up was Cape Verdean, and I used to love going to her house. They had really great food. Her mom was an amazing, amazing cook. And yeah, I spent a lot of time at her house and her dad's house. Her dad's house had a pool too. And I was, it's right by me too. And it was for sale recently. And I was like, oh, wouldn't that be nice? They always ask Long Island. That's right. I'm like, no, not New York. I just say Boston at this point. Boston. Boston. Or Family Guy. Wherever Family Guy is. Like, I'm like, yeah, you ever seen the TV show Family Guy? Yeah, Rhode Island. That's right. That's it. Is there a Quahog? No, but there is a Barrington. But that's all I have to say because nobody knows, and that's okay. I do get Long Island a lot, and I'm like, no, Rhode Island, good old little Rhody, and good times. But yeah, definitely, yeah, Cape Verdean is one of like the main, like at least when I was growing up. I mean, I know there's a lot of other groups that have kind of emigrated over here, but that's one of the largest ones for sure. We have a lot of Cape Verdeans here, a lot, and yeah, one of my best friends growing up was Cape Verdean, and they had really really great food. I remember her mom was always cooking, always cooking. Um, in a restaurant there, yeah, yeah. Rhode Island isn't that, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, we have a lot of interesting culture here too. Like we have a lot of different, um, like the neighborhood that I grew up in. Okay, I don't know if that sounds familiar. So I don't know if that still exists, but it sounds familiar. So it might. It might. But yeah, like the neighborhood that I live in actually used to be entirely Russian immigrants back in like the 90s. And now it's I actually don't even want to assume that I know where the folks who live here are from now, because I don't feel comfortable assuming because I don't know. I do know that my neighbors are Puerto Rican because I talk to them. And then my neighbors on the other side are Colombian because I've talked to them as well. But as for the other ones, I don't know where they're from. But that's there's that's like a lot of the stores around here. I mean, a lot of it, the signs and stuff are in Spanish. But before in the 90s, it was all in a lot of it was in Russian. So it's kind of interesting how like the demographics of different neighborhoods change. Oh, it's right near your house. I knew that sounded familiar. I knew that sounded familiar. I was like, I know that from somewhere. I know I do. But yeah, Rhode Island's small state. Small state. But I live like in the city. Everyone's on top of each other. We have a lot of Portuguese here too. I know I'm probably one of the only people, because I'm adopted, so I'm not from here, but I swear to God, like everybody I know, at least 9 out of 10 people I know have Portuguese or Portuguese descent. My old landlord was Portuguese, very Portuguese. I had a hard time understanding him sometimes. But and both of them, like Brazilian as well, not just like Portuguese from Portugal. There's a lot of like Brazilian Portuguese too, but mostly from Portugal. And yeah, so in Maryland, I was actually in Maryland. I was actually born in Maryland, so I only was there very very briefly though, very very briefly. Not that long. So basically when I was in the hospital. So yeah, it is a small world after all. Oh, you're in Portugal. That's awesome. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. It looks like the new, I don't know, but I'm probably talking to like the wrong group of people about this right now, but I'm going to say it anyways. It looks like the new Pokemon game is taking place in Spain, Portugal. And that it looks really neat. The trailer came out, and people are like, Pokemon's for kids. Well, Pokemon's been out since like I was a kid. In fact, I was one of like the first Pokemon kids. I got one of their PR packages because my dad does a lot of business in Japan. In fact, I went to Japan with my dad, but I was part of like a market study of like whether Pokemon would be good to introduce to the US. So I got a VHS tape in the mail along with like some flyers and stuff about Pokemon, which I wish I had kept because like nobody remembers this. Spain and Portugal, yeah, that's gonna have like 2 different regions. It's based on the like the Iberian Peninsula, and mostly Spain and Portugal, because you can look in like the like architecture in it, and there's like landmarks that you can point out that are like distinctly from Spain or Portugal. It looks really neat. I won't lie, but I was like, yeah, I was like one of the test subjects for Pokemon. So yeah, there's a lot of Portuguese people here. A lot of them. Yeah, I dated one. It's interesting though, because like it was a new experience to me, because a lot over here, we have a lot of like apartment houses where like it's like it's not like a complex. It's like an old house that has like a first, second, third floor, and they're all apartments and sometimes like a basement. And the Portuguese guy that I dated, like the whole family lived in that house. Grandma was on the first floor, aunts were on the second floor, and like he was on the third floor. And oh, I didn't know there was a new Don Quixote movie. That's interesting. All I remember for Don Quixote is the Wishbone. Well, I'm probably there was this a TV show in the 90s called Wishbone, and it was like a dog that would reenact classic literature. and I was a big fan of Wishbone, but Wishbone did Don Quixote, and I remember thinking it was like the funniest thing in the world. But the funniest one is him doing the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I actually posted a video of at one point here, which actually was kind of mean, and I don't know if I like that I have that up there. But oh, okay, interesting. I'll have to look that up. Oh, you remember Wishbone? Of course you do. I don't know if that was I don't think that was a Rhode Island thing. I feel like that was a national thing, but I could be wrong. What's the story, Wishbone? I used to love that. And Ghost Rider, yes. I have not spoken to anybody. I used to watch they had old episodes on YouTube, at least in like 2010 when I last watched it. I was sick and I spent like the entire time watching it. There were old episodes on YouTube. I'm not sure if they're still there because YouTube is cracked down on that kind of thing. But yeah, Ghost Rider. I remember the Ghost Rider that they did the one episode that they were trying to do like a public service announcement where there was one of them about the gang that one of them joined and everyone was like wearing weird masks. But there was the other one where like, it was about like, smoking weed. And I was like, this is on PBS. And I remember my mom had like a conversation with me about it afterwards, which I think was like the point. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I remember that episode very well. But yeah, I used to love that show. I used to love Ghost Rider. That underrated, especially for PBS. Definitely underrated. I don't know. That was good times. I miss the 90s. Those were good times. I think everybody thinks that when they grew up was like the best time. But, I was born in the late 80s. I was born in 88. So I definitely, was a very, very much so a 90s kid, early 2000s. And those were the times to me. Whereas, I'm sure somebody who grew up in the 80s would say the same about that, and the 70s and so on and so forth. But, all I can say is that, I wouldn't want to grow up now. That's for sure. I think kids these days have a lot to worry about that, I didn't necessarily have to worry about. So yeah, especially with like the cyberbullying and stuff, like it's insane, guys. Like wuzzles, I don't know actually, no, I do know what a wuzzle is. Why do I know what a wuzzle is? I know what that is. Yeah. Did you ever hear like the urban legend? I don't know if it's an urban legend though, Rodigal, that the guy who like, I don't know if it was like Duncan or Omega yo-yos. Like there was a guy that like claimed that he started it. He used to live in Pawtucket, on like Pleasant Street. And I remember all the kids used to go to his house to get the yo-yos back in like, I know you're older than me, but like in the 90s. And he was like, I don't know if it was the Omega or Duncan. I can't remember which. I had yo-yos. I like knew how to do like one trick with the yo-yos, but that was a fad. That was definitely a fad. And then like the Diablo sticks at Camp Sunrise, I used to get sent to Camp Sunrise in the summertime, and they had these things called like the Diablo sticks, and I remember trying to do that and just failing. I just got hit in the head with them. But oh really? He said that he knew him. Okay, so that was real. I was like, I didn't know if this was like some just creeper that wanted all the kids to come to his house. I wasn't sure. I know my mom was skeptical. She was like, you're not going to some man's house. That's not going to happen. And I was like, oh, but everybody's going. And my mom's like, well, you're not going. So that's the end of the story. Yeah, okay, it was Duncan. I thought so. But I went to Verrier. For 5th and 6th grade. I transferred to Verrier May, actually, of 4th grade because I was bullied so badly at the private school that I was going to. So I, and of course, back then the solution was, because the person that was bullying me, their family was a big donor to the school because of that, and because of my behavioral problems. Because like I said, guys, whenever I would react to things, and I've taken this to adulthood, somebody does something really mean to me, and then I lose it, right? I lose it and I react and I respond and I do something back. That's all people see. So I've learned that I would always be the one that got in trouble. So I try to not do that. But the solution was, make the kid who was being bullied leave. So I left, and it was the best choice that my parents had made for me because I thrived. Yeah, the bullies never get in trouble. It is. And I don't know if that, I'm sure it is still the case, especially if you've got money. Do I know her name? I might. You'd have to remind me. Is it the same as yours? Um, I don't, I may have had her. I need to send her. Yes, you do need to send me that. I may have. I don't think so, because I had two, I had a male teacher. I had Mr. Cabral, I think was his name. And a woman for 6th grade, and I cannot remember her name. I don't believe it was yours, but I could be wrong. I might recognize the name. And it was a good experience because I actually excelled. Like, I didn't do well academically because I was being bullied, and I hated going to school. I hated every minute of it. And when I went to public school, it was different. People were not making fun of me, and people were not bullying me. Hey, Mo. And it was really great. And I actually excelled academically, and that was really nice. That was also not the only time, but the first time I got in really big trouble at school too. Yes, because I was hungry and I stole a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from the lunch lady, or in the lunchroom, because my parents were also very healthy eaters, and I wanted carbs. I didn't really want, carrots and pretzels and whole wheat bread with, Teddy peanut butter on it. That's not really what I wanted. And I wanted like a regular white bread. I think it was peanut butter and fluff, actually. And I didn't have any money for it because I was in I was like 10. So I stole it, and I got caught because I'm terrible at things. And I had to write 100 times, "I will not steal," from the lunchroom. And I was like, oh my God, I never got in trouble like that before either. My parents were horrified. They were like, what were you thinking? But yes. And then I also went to Slater, Vertigal. I went to Slater for middle school. And then I went to, I don't care if I say these things, whatever. I went to, what was it called? It was School 1 my freshman year, and I was asked to leave, and then that's when I started getting sent to these programs, and that was when everything changed. But I'm kind of glad that wasn't the right school for me anyway. But it was a very long time ago, and I'm surprised that it still exists. I guess there's more of a market for those alternative charter schools than ever before now, though. Especially with the traditional school setting not really being for every kid, and I think it's more recognized now. We probably have met before. I'm telling you, Rodigal, I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure that we've met before, and we just don't know it. Because you've met my mother. So if you've met my mother, I mean, I could have been at that soup kitchen too, and probably not, depending on if it was recently, but I could have been when I was under 18, and I had to go and do things. So yeah, maybe. But I'm 33 now, so that would have had to be what, a long time ago, almost 20 years ago. So I don't know. But I'm glad that everybody kind of stopped by and said hello this morning. And I know I've been kind of silly and have kind of talked about my childhood and all of the things that make me me, and I like to get to know you guys, and I want you guys to get to know me, because I definitely have an interesting life story to tell. And about 6 to 7 years ago, that sounds, I would not have been there 6 to 7, but okay, yeah, I'm actually gonna go hop on there too in a little bit, probably. All right, but thank you for stopping by, Moody Mary. It was good to see you. Let's see. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Mo. Yeah, I have not, thank God, gotten that. But, I'm surprised I haven't got it yet. But I am grateful I haven't, because I see how sick people get, and I don't want to experience that. But I'm glad that you're on the up and up. That's definitely the right way to be going. That's definitely better than, the other way. And hopefully it just continues from there and you feel better. Because I've heard it's pretty miserable, and I don't like being miserable. So I'm kind of a big baby with stuff like that. Like, I'm terrified of even getting a cold because I'm just so uncomfortable with a cold, because I have sinus problems to begin with. And, if my sinuses are even more congested than they are naturally, because my nose is how it is, I'm just miserable. It's a mess. I hate it. I hate it with every bone of my being. in my body. And when I used to work retail, I would have like disinfectant. And if I even heard a coworker or a customer like sniffling and they were touching the keypad, I would have to wipe it down. Yes. Oh, she's late. I'm usually the one who's late, so I can't judge. It's all good. But I wanted to do a little fun live. I didn't, things don't always have to be serious, guys. Things don't always have to be drama. I know people like the drama. I like drama sometimes too. But, I had a little bit too much caffeine today, so I wanted to come on and kind of just hang out and talk. You can wait here. I'm probably going to be getting off of here in a minute, though. I mean, my goal was to get off here by 11. It's 11:12, but you're welcome to be here, of course. I might be on here like a few more minutes, but I do want to go for my walk before I want to take advantage of the fact that I'm actually up and about early. So I can actually start doing some homework, get some, the drama has been too much lately. And I agree with you. And I need a break from it. And, everyone's like, well, supply and demand, people like the drama. Look at how many people show up for the drama. Look how much your sub count goes up when you do drama. And it's like, that's not worth it to me. It's not worth it. First of all, I don't want people to come to my channel because for reasons like that, necessarily, because everything always changes so fast. And you never know. You never know. Things could be different next week. And, that's just not what I wanted a channel to do at all. And also at the same time, like I need a break from it. It's emotionally draining. And, especially being a part of it, but even watching it day after day after day after day. And it's gotten to be something that I needed a break from. And like I said, once I'm done with this semester in school, I don't know if it's this term that I have a nice break after, or if it's the next one. I'm really counting on it being this one. I hope it's this one. But I have a lot of content that I've been working on kind of on the side that I'm really, 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 really excited to share with you guys, because it has nothing to do with like drama. A lot of it is, talking about true crime cases that people have wanted me to cover. A lot of it is covering like just like weird things that go on, like conspiracy theory stuff, but not about drama, like actual conspiracy theories. A lot of what's the word for it? Just like weird science fiction kind of stuff, like things that people believe in that, haven't been scientifically proven, but let's look at like the facts that, suggest that something like that exists. And like, I'm fascinated by that, like, aliens and cryptozoology and all of those, pseudosciences, for lack of a better word for it, that there's a lot of discussions about. And I think, obviously it's popular. So obviously there are people that enjoy that kind of stuff. And I have a feeling that a lot of people here do. If not, then, that's okay too. But we're also going to be talking about like criminology and psychology and looking at a whole lot of different things. Plus I want to use my expertise. I wouldn't say expertise, but my knowledge in business marketing. Yeah. Missing 411 with David Politis. Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly Mo. You're spot on though. That's exactly the kind of stuff I want to talk about. I listen to a lot of Coast to Coast AM, and a lot of the topics on that I find very interesting, to say the least. And I would love to hear other people's opinions on what they think is real and what isn't, because some stuff my mind isn't quite made up on. So if we look at the facts and we look at, this is what what's in favor of this theory, but like let's get down to reality and let's look at the other stuff. But yeah, Missing 411, I love. I actually have some of the books. They're hard to find. They're really hard to find. I had a really hard time finding some of them. But the documentaries, if you haven't seen Missing 411, I think they're on Amazon Prime. I think you might have to rent it or buy it. I'm not sure, but it's definitely worth it. It's about a lot of it's disappearances at national parks, which is a topic that I'm working on for you guys. So it's interesting that you say that, because I've always wanted to visit the national parks. And hi, Gladys. And there's a lot of like spooky lore, like not even just about like supernatural stuff. A lot of it has to, there's some government conspiracy like aspects of it. There's some like cryptozoology aspects. There's some paranormal aspects, extraterrestrial, you name it. There's like speculations about it. And I know that like not everybody believes in that stuff, but I enjoy talking about that. So I want to do that as well. But I also want to like go into a lot of people on the everyone's on the internet nowadays, and there's a lot of YouTubers, not even just YouTubers, but social media in general. I'm talking about people much bigger, but it applies locally as well, for sure here. And just the deceptive marketing and business practices that you see on social media, and when how to tell when somebody's trying to sell you something and when it's genuine. A lot of people like to play with people's emotions and use manipulative tactics to sell their brand or sell and somebody's brand, guys, can be their YouTube channel. That it doesn't have to be a product. That I often call my channel my product. I want my product to be what people want it to be. Because that's what it is, ultimately, because I'm not talking to myself. I want to talk about things people want to talk about. That's just, but I'm also not looking at it necessarily from a business standpoint yet. I'm just doing this for fun, but a lot of people aren't like that. Like half the things that you see people talking about, that you see people saying, oh, buy this product, it's great. I guarantee you they haven't tried a lot of them. Influencer marketing is a problem. It's rampant, but I think it's a problem. Yeah, I am producing product. I am, and I'm very proud of my product. I am. I can stand behind this product. It's not gimmicky. It's not something that's gonna die out, and it's not a fad. I'm just using my word, my brain here. But a lot of stuff is really just manipulative, and it's hard to tell what's an advertisement and what isn't anymore. And the more that I'm going to school for this, the more I see the deceptive practices at work. And I'm not just talking about like you can even apply it on a local level in terms of around here. You'll start to see it, and once you see things, you can't unsee it. But it's more so big channels or influencers, or they would like to build the trust of their audience, and they like to make it seem like they actually care about you, and they don't. It's just to sell you a product. You see that a lot with like much bigger creators, and it's a lot of, I think it's the kids that fall into it mostly. Bye, incognito. Enjoy your class. I think it's a lot of kids that really buy into that, and they'll buy all of these products, and they do that market research to find out exactly what people will spend money on, regardless of whether it's actually legit or not. The other industry that does a lot of that is the skincare industry. And, I know that maybe like the whole like acne part of it, we don't need to talk about, but we can definitely talk about the anti-aging stuff that people put out. And we can definitely talk about how deceptive that is, and, what the tea is about what's going on with that, because I have deep dived into that, and it is eye-opening what people can get away with marketing. And I'll tell you right now, I've gotten duped many times. And when I've looked at it, like there's some YouTubers that are licensed dermatologists, or they have experience in it, and they literally they pull the wool off of all of this stuff. You can get better results with something you buy at the drugstore for $6, as opposed to something that's priced at $160, where the inactive ingredients are really what's producing the effects, not their supplemental blend, which is what they're putting that extra price tag on. Really, you're just, what you can get the results with are products you can buy for much cheaper, and it's the inactive ingredients, and they don't do testing with that. They're testing it. I have to explain it. I'm doing PowerPoints to show you guys too. I'm working on some PowerPoints. I'm working on compiling some playlists of videos to do some commentary on about all of these topics, and I'm finding some good ways to do it. Like I said, I don't want to just talk at you guys. I want to talk with you. I want your guys' opinions. So, and I want to have discussions. So I'm also going to do panels and stuff like that. I have a lot of ideas. And once I have a break from school, that is when I'm really going to go into that. And I'm not going to worry about anything else. I'm just going to continue to do me. I'm not going to worry about, if people want to subscribe to me, that's awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. But if things that you've heard about me recently that, you feel that you can't support me over, which, has been happening lately, then, that's fine too. I don't want anybody to be here that doesn't want to be here. And I think in time, people will see that I'm genuine. I'm a good person. And, time will show that. And it's frustrating in the meantime for sure, because you just kind of want to, yell and scream from the rooftops and like correct all of the misinformation and stuff that you hear about yourself. But I just have to trust that in time, the truth will always reveal itself. And when it does, everybody will see things for what it is. And I have nothing to hide in that case. I think it'll paint me in a good light. So that's what I'm going to count on. And if it doesn't happen like that, then, we'll go from there. But I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust that in that. And I know that the people who come here, participate, listen to my lives, they know otherwise. Because I feel like you guys have gotten to know me a little bit and vice versa. But it's frustrating in the meantime. That's for sure. It's definitely frustrating. Definitely frustrating. So it's frustrating to hear things about yourself that are just such lies, or things that you didn't know about yourself. And then you realize that if you jump on it immediately, people are just going to be like, you're being defensive. So I just had to I'm just keeping my mouth shut. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not even going to mention it. I'm not going to talk about it. Not really, unless I feel like I have to, but for now, I'm just going to trust that in time, people will see the truth. And when they do, I will be, people will see. But I'm going to hop off of here. Stay safe on those YouTube streets, guys. They have been extra rough lately and bumpy. Put your seatbelts on, right? Make sure you put those seatbelts on here. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but we're going to get through this. And just know, like, you can always come here. We have a really chill chat here. People from all over can come here. I have something special going on here in this chat, and I have that all it has nothing to do with me. That is all you guys. Maybe a little bit me, but it's you guys that are in the chat. And I know a lot of people feel comfortable here and enjoy coming here for a little bit of a break from other things that go on. And everybody likes different channels for different reasons, right? So, and I don't judge anybody for where they go at all. I also don't want anybody to stop supporting any creator on my behalf. Just because I'm having an issue with somebody doesn't mean you have to be having an issue with them. And I'm not going to judge you for being in their chat or whatever. I don't care about that crap. Whatever, as long as you're here supporting me when I come live and you enjoy what you see here, I've done my job, and that's all I care about. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I will check in with you guys later.